Good morning and welcome to Ventures with them. So, we lost another pound. Yay! So far we're still kind of keeping on that same track of losing 1 pound per day. And I love that. I love that we are definitely seeing some loss here. I love that it's coming off in that same amount per day. It's just wonderful to me. So, this is definitely, I think, the perfect road that we need to be going down for this weight loss journey and healthy eating journey. Remember, it's not just about weight loss, it's about eating clean and feeling better. And so, I feel like this is right. I'm still fasting. I'm still doing the fasting in the morning and up until around 3 o'clock. That's when I feel like I'm getting hungry and I can't make myself go past that hungry stage. When I get to that, I'm simply eating a few pork rinds. I got guacamole. That's a clean guacamole. And I'm using it for the pork rinds. So that gives it a little extra taste. Plus it's giving me extra vitamins and good things in my body. Avocado is really good for you. So I'm definitely doing that. I do the spicy guacamole because I like the extra heat. So if you don't really love guacamole, you might try a spicy guacamole just to see. You might like it better if you like spicy foods. So do I feel better? Yes. Can I see the difference other than on the scale? No. Do I think it is mostly water? Most likely, because we're in that first part of not retaining so much fluid, but my fingers don't feel stiff and stuff. So when I would wake up in the mornings, my fingers would be really like swollen and stiff, and throughout the day as I would eat and take in the carbs and the sugars and salt and things like that, I was really feeling it and seeing it, but I feel pretty good today. So I definitely think it's helping. I think it's better. I think I'm on the right track, and so I feel really good about it. I was really nervous that we weren't going to be able to go do our grocery shopping, but we were able to. We did get quite a bit of a winter mix come in, and it really made me nervous. I don't like the winter mix stuff. I like just the nice weather. Sunny and 70 is kind of my go-to, but anyway, it came down in an hour. Everything was coated with snow and ice. So I was really nervous, but it went through the night. The next day we got up and it just immediately started melting. So I felt really good about that. So we were able to go do our grocery shopping. The list that I had put out, and I showed you the ingredients that we were planning on getting. We got stuff for pizza and spaghetti, and we got a pork loin, and we ended up adding steak to that. And so we actually just ended up cooking steak the first night. Just steak, nothing to go with it, just steak. I've gotten to where normally I could eat a lot of food. But now that I've cut out the sugar and all of the extra carbs and stuff, I seem to get full a lot faster. So we just got kind of a small New York strip, and it really took me a while to eat that because I felt full after the first few bites. So I just kind of set it aside, let it digest, ate a little bit more, just kind of set it aside. Anyway, it took me about 30 minutes or so to eat that one steak, but I did eat it. I know the protein is good for me, so I know I needed to take that in. If you are a vegan or vegetarian, I understand that, and I know you're not going to be taking in the meats, but there's always something that you could do to replace that if you needed to. But if you're vegan and vegetarian, you don't really have to worry about all this anyway because you're already eating clean, especially vegan. So you don't really have to worry about that. And I have done vegan. I did it several years ago and I felt amazing. But then my body started craving, like it was just needing meat for some reason. And I wish I had gone to the doctor to see what was going on because I feel like I was probably not getting enough iron or something. And I think that's what started it for me. But I mean, if you can do it, I love that thought, but I feel like I need the meat now for my body to regulate like it should. So there's definitely options out there if you want to do that. But anyway, so we did end up getting steak and eating steak last night when we got back from getting groceries. And so I wanted to just kind of show you some of the other stuff that I ended up getting. I got everything on the list that I had shared with you, but I ended up picking up a few other things and different things too. So actually I didn't get everything on the list because I actually found something I could do that saved me some money. So one of the things that I did to save money was I talked about that I was getting all of the herbs that were on there, like the rosemary and the oregano and parsley and all that stuff to cook with. So we got stuff for spaghetti and pizza. So for the spaghetti and the pizza, I know I need those herbs to make that good. So I was going to get the rosemary and the parsley and the oregano and the basil and all that you need to be able to really cook those and make them taste really good. Well, I ended up finding this, the Herbs de Provence. And so I went ahead and picked this one up. As you can see, it is the organic Great Value. So it's Walmart brand, which is where we went. And so I ended up picking it up. So you may say, why? Well, each one of these runs anywhere from $3 to $5 a piece from what I was seeing. And I do think there was actually some more, maybe like the vanilla bean that was like $6 or $7. And so I ended up picking this one up. And the reason I did was it saved me some money. So I was paying $3.50 or so per bottle of the herbs. But instead of getting all the herbs yesterday, I put them all back and just got this one bottle that was about the same price. It may have been a few cents more, but it was about the same price. So in this, it has on the ingredient label here, it's got kind of a long ingredient label, but let me show you something. On the ingredients, it's organic basil, organic fennel, organic marjoram, or marjoram, however you want to say that, organic parsley, organic rosemary, organic lavender, organic tarragon, and then organic thyme. So everything that I was planning on getting, so I ended up getting this one because it has so many different options in there, and I felt like this would be really good for spaghetti and pizza. And so we're going to use this one this time and see how we like it. And if we really like the flavor of it, I'll probably just keep getting this instead of the individual herbs. Unless I'm making a actual recipe that calls for individual items, I will probably just keep using this. So, I mean, it's got everything in it, and just about everything in there is really good for us. So that's where I ended up changing my list as far as the things I was planning to get. And I ended up getting it. And also we ended up picking up the Primal Kitchen ketchup. So I knew they had it and I really couldn't decide if I needed to get it or not. But I thought, you know, maybe one night we'll end up doing like, you know, a burger patty or something and I want ketchup with it. Or maybe we'll do an organic potato. And I do like ketchup with my potatoes. So I ended up picking this up. Now, Primal Kitchen is very expensive to me. It's a very small portion. But when I got to thinking about it, we don't use ketchup very much. We really seldomly, you know, use it. And so I decided to get it because even though it's a smaller portion, we really don't use a whole lot to really need a whole lot at one time. So I went ahead and got it. And I think this was about $5 for this jar. But the ingredients on here, even though it's a long list, they're all good for us. And so the ingredients are organic tomato, organic balsamic vinegar, organic, well, it says less than 2% salt, organic onion powder, organic garlic powder, and then organic spices. It doesn't tell us what the extra spices are in here, but it does say they are organic. And so we know it's not artificial, and we know it's not natural. It just says organic. And so that is what I like about that one. And so we did go ahead and pick that one up. In case we decided to use ketchup, I would rather go that line than picking up one that has so many different things in it. And so that's what we did. I also ended up picking up a couple of different things of the Great Value nuts. Now, they don't say they're organic, and I do wish they were. We got macadamia and we got walnuts. I wish they were organic, but one thing I think about when I think about nuts is they start off in a hard outer shell. So if they are using chemicals around the base of the trees, I take a little bit of comfort in knowing that the hard shell will be the one that actually touches the chemicals that are on the ground versus, say, a fruit or a vegetable or anything like that. And so I do like the thought that the outer shell is what touches it, and that I'm not actually getting those. I'm getting them, you know, before, or getting them after they come out of the shell. Would I prefer organic? Absolutely. Am I going to make do until I can get organic? Yes. So why did I get the macadamia nuts and the walnuts? Well, I'm just going to kind of look back here and show you. They are 4 carbs per quarter cup on both of them. So if you're doing keto or something like that, 4 carbs, when you're taking in 40 or less, that could seem like a lot for just a small quarter of a cup of something. But they are, they have iron, natural iron. They have potassium. They have protein. They have 9 grams of fat. Well, the fat that they are, we really don't want the bad fats for us. And so these actually are a good kind of fat, not a bad kind of fat. And so that's the reason I went ahead and got these. And the ingredients just say walnuts, and they just say macadamia nuts. And so that's the reason I got these. Now you may ask what I'm going to do with them. I'm not actually going to eat these as just a snack in my hand or on a plate or something like that. I'm actually got these because I got the Chobani yogurt. It's the plain yogurt that is really good for like a prebiotic and probiotic, and it has so much good stuff in there for us. Chobani actually has cultures in there that are good for fighting against anxiety and helping the metabolism and things like that. So I recommend that one just because of what they actually have in them. So I would definitely look at the back of your yogurt, and it's the Greek yogurt. So I definitely look at the back of your yogurt and see what's in there versus what you can get. And so far, the Chobani happens to be the best brand, in my opinion, for eating clean and getting healthy. So I'm going to just add not even a quarter of a cup of these. I'm just going to add, you know, maybe 6 or 7 of the pieces of nuts into that yogurt. And then I'll add, you know, 5 or 6 pieces of fruit in there. And so I did end up getting some organic fruit as well in the frozen area. I got the mixed berries. And so I'll probably end up using, you know, 5 or 6 berries, just depending on, because there's strawberries and blackberries and blueberries and things like that. So just depending on the size, the strawberries, I'll end up cutting those up. And the others I'll just leave whole. And so I'll end up with about 7 pieces or so into my yogurt. And that's what I eat at night for kind of a dessert. And that way it's good for me. And it helps to cut that sugar craving that I have at night. That's the biggest sugar craving that I get is at night before I go to bed. And it's kind of like you eat dinner and you feel like you need dessert. Well, I've been trying really hard to stay away from that. But this is about the best thing I can do to fight that craving. And so that's where I am right now. I'm using the Chobani yogurt, about 7 or so of the nuts, and then 7 or so different pieces of fruit in it, and I'm mixing it up. And then I just kind of eat, like I use the small spoon. I recommend using a small spoon or a small fork at all times because you end up eating less in one bite. So you eat one bite, you have to crunch the nuts. You eat the fruits. You crunch the nuts. You eat the fruits. things like that, and then you take in another bite. Don't just sit there and eat and eat and eat and it's gone. Just kind of savor it. And so I wanted to show a few other things I got. So I ended up going to the nutrition part of Walmart and getting a few nutritional items. So I've already shown you like the vitamins that I was taking previously. I went ahead and got a few more. So I went ahead and added zinc to my list that I'm taking every day, and this is the one I got. It's a 50, and it's just the Spring Valley brand. It's good for immune health, but zinc is also really good to help balance out, from what I have read. I don't know this, factually. It's just what I have read. Zinc is good to help balance out the estrogen and testosterone levels. And so I really wanted to be able to get that and put that in and add that to what I'm taking in to help everything that's going on, especially with us fighting like COVID and things like that right now. And of course, this is flu season and so forth. Having zinc is definitely not going to hurt you as long as you check your levels. So my levels show that zinc would be a good one for me to have. I'm not low on zinc, but it won't hurt me because I'm not high in zinc. I ended up also getting the Krill Oil. So some people may say, well, fish oil is best. Everything says go to fish oil. Well, I don't really agree with that because it will kind of tell you what fish it comes from, but it doesn't necessarily. And we don't have a lot of really good pure fish in the world now because we have so much pollutant and stuff in our water, and we have so many raised fish that are like and I'm not talking about like your farm raised catfish and things like that. I'm talking about your natural wild fish. So a lot of times when you get like salmon, you think it's wild salmon coming from the ocean, when in fact you turn it over and look and it'll actually say wild salmon farm raised. That is not possible. Like it can't be wild salmon farm raised. When they farm raise it, what are they taking in? Well, they have so many fish in there, they're taking in different stuff with their food. They're normally not usually fed the best foods. And so that's not really the best thing to do. So instead of going with the fish oils, I went with the krill oil, which is superior omega-3. Omega-3 is really good for us, and so I really wanted to do that, but it says it supports heart, brain, joint, eye, skin, and immune health. That we cannot really go wrong with, and so we definitely need that. So on the back of here, when I look at the ingredients, it says the capsule, which is made of gelatin and purified water, and it says contains shellfish, which is krill. That's it. That's the only two things that are in here. And so when we get to looking at what's in it, it says the krill oil is its total EPA and DHA, which are 250 milligrams. That's the omega-3 fatty acids. So we want those. And then it has, just like it talks about your cholesterol and your choline and stuff like that in here, and the total fat is 1 gram. So I added this to my list of things to get because I figured I couldn't go wrong adding that and boosting my omega-3s. And so I got it. The other thing I ended up getting was the Spring Valley Collagen Peptides. And you may wonder why I got this. Well, this has type 1 and type 3 in it. And it's good for hair, skin, nails, and joint health. So you may be wondering why I didn't get just a hair, skin, and nail vitamin. This is going to be much better for you than an actual vitamin. It's going to have better product in it than what you're going to find in those. So why don't I get the other one? Well, by the time they make those, they're not as good for you as they do if you just get the regular collagen peptide. And so I went ahead and got it. And so it says there's no gluten, no yeast, no wheat or milk derivatives, lactose, sugar, preservatives, soy, artificial color, or artificial flavor. None of that is in here. And so it gives you a list on the back of everything that it's good for and what all it does. And it's pure. There's nothing else in here. And so you can see, without me actually going through the whole long list, what all it does for you and what's in it. So I strongly suggest this one because it's essential amino acids. And then it talks about the non-essential amino acids. But I just figured I couldn't really go wrong. I mean, anything to be able to help on the inside and the out, it couldn't go wrong. So this is a powder. And so I'm going to just be adding 1 scoop to my yogurt at night. You can add it to water. You can add it to your coffee, your tea, whatever you want to do. I'm just going to start it off with my yogurt and see how that works. I figure if it makes it just a little bit thicker, it would help to satisfy my craving just a little bit more by adding that little bit of thickness in it. So I'm going to start it off that way and see how well I like it. And if I like it that way, I'm just going to keep doing it. If not, I may end up bringing it forward and end up taking it in the morning. But anyway, and then all of these vitamins and stuff, I'm going to probably try to take them in the evening instead of in the morning. You may ask why. So right now, because I'm only taking in liquids, I don't really want to take in a lot of extra vitamins and minerals and stuff in the mornings because I don't want it to give me a nauseated feeling. And it may not, but it may. And I don't want to start that because I don't want anything to give me a reason to not want to continue on this journey. So I feel like waiting until the evening when I know I've got food in me and I know I won't have any issues digesting it or taking it in and feeling nauseous. So that's what I'm going to do. You can do however you want to. I just don't want to do anything to try to take away the journey that we're on. And so that's where we are today. So anyway, my grocery bill was pretty high yesterday, as I knew it would be. I figured I was going to end up spending about $300 on it, all said and done. And I did end up getting a few other things that were not food related, and so actually quite a bit of other things. So my bill was $300, almost $300 anyway. It wasn't quite. It was like $280 something. But I got a lot of other stuff to go with it, you know, just personal products, soaps, things like that. So I did end up getting quite a bit more. I will try to break it down and put it in here to show you what I actually spent on food and nutrition. That way you can get an idea, but we have to remember, like the ketchup, the, dressings, the seasonings and stuff like that, we will not be buying those every time. And we ended up getting things like, we got a huge bag of shrimp also. And so we'll end up, that will last us probably a month, if not more, by eating shrimp. And so, we ended up getting more stuff. Like I said, we got steak and things like that. So I got more than what was on the list. My list to start with was supposed to be around $100. And so I feel like I probably ended up spending about $200 this time. So I feel like when we go back next week and do our shopping, that we'll probably spend somewhere around $100. And just know that it's not just for me. It's for my family too. So spending $100 a week on groceries, that's really good, to be able to do that. And the fact that we're not adding all of the junk foods in, I keep thinking I'm spending more, but I'm actually spending less because I'm not adding all of those extra snacks and things in there. So, we'll balance it out at the end of the month, get an idea on what we've been spending versus what we ended up spending, and we'll go from there. And again, make sure that you're doing your exercises daily. And make sure that you're trying to do those 10 steps or 10 reps or whatever you need to do of leg lifts to get your little bit of exercising in to start with until we can build up. If you can go over 10, that's wonderful. But at least try for 10. Make that your goal to start with for this week. And so we can get to where we're feeling better and doing more. And then don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And leave me comments. Let me know if you're joining the journey. Let me know if you're just following along. Let me know if you have some suggestions. If you have products to sell that we might could use. Anything along those lines, or you just have questions, leave them in the comments, and we will get to them as quickly as possible. And anyway, so with that being said, you have a wonderful day.